having a good time, or is this how you know that I'm struggling? When I pull out that freaking ukulele again, like it's 2021. I don't know. Something so good is here. But hello and welcome to today. It is early July and I'm having the best month of my life. Things are looking up. Oh my God, they seriously hooked me up. Ooh, I don't think I've ever tried their pomegranate blueberry. We have a pineapple orange detox shot. And then my personal favorite that I used to buy at the grocery store all the time is the Immunity Ginger Cayenne one. And they sent over the Energy Passion Fruit, which is the energy one. I have missed these, seeing these little bottles. So nostalgic. Wow, this is bringing me back. It does feel like I'm having a 2021 summer, not even gonna lie. Like, something is in the air. And for those that know me personally, you can think back to what was going on that summer. What goes around comes around. Okay, let's get these in the fridge. Also, I'm feeling super millennial today because I'm wearing my little soft, I call them Sophie shorts. Millennials will know what I'm talking about. I'm surprised that these still fit me. Technically they don't, because if I rolled them the way that we all used to roll them back in like high school, middle school, they don't fit. That's kind of a bummer. So when I first moved into this house, I'm trying to go back to my roots, like really thinking, who was I when I was single and lived in this? I barely lived in this. I don't think I ever lived in this house single, actually, by the time I moved in. Anyway, I'm trying to go back to my roots as to how was I when I first got here. And my fridge used to be so, like, look at this picture. This is what my fridge used to look like. And that's me at my core. So I'm really trying to get back to like, who was I when I was doing well? And I had all my shots up here. You going in the fridge, Luna? The energy shots have 100 milligrams of caffeine in this little tiny bottle. Oh, it's a woman-owned company too. No wonder they're so sweet to me. There's also vitamin B6 and vitamin B12 in here, green tea. Wow, I'm so in love. The detox one. Ooh, it's a probiotic shot. And then the pomegranate blueberry one. Okay, so the other one is probiotics. This one is prebiotics and has fiber. Wow, I feel healthier already just having these in my house. A perfect fit. Huge shout out to So Good So You, one of my favorite brands ever. So definitely go try their products. So cute. I put some more down here. Also, this wine company, Napa Cellars, sent over 3 bottles for me to try. I need to make book content with it because it's for my Bookstagram. They sent over these 2 that I have in the fridge and then a red bottle that I have on the wine rack, but they want like a bookish post with it. And if you're gonna send me wine, like, I'll do it. I do need to get that taken and posted, but thank you so much, So Good So You. It has been an afternoon of filming book videos, unboxings, reading wrap-ups, TBR lists, book hauls, PR. Marnie has been through it all with me. But as you could probably tell by the state of my sunroom, we've got a lot of books to talk about. I hope you're ready, Marnie. God, she looks so cozy. You gonna help me out with this, Marnie? On what feels like the hottest, most humid day of the year, hence the state of my hair, because the humidity, it's not looking good for me today, babes. It is time to talk about July books. You're gonna want to stick around for this video. I think I have like 50 books in the sunroom right now. I want to go over some of the PR that I just unboxed. I filmed a little bit, I think, for the vlog, but I filmed a book unboxing. These are just some of the books because there's a separate pile underneath the tripod of some new releases that I got, but there's so many in here that I am genuinely so excited and honored to have received. Starting with one that like blew me away during the unboxing. Riley Sager's new release. Oh yeah, it comes with a little planchette keychain, so that's cute. This book looks terrifying. It looks beautiful. I'm so honored. I remember the first time like truly feeling like I was bothering Dutton on Instagram because I kept tagging them in every single Riley Sager book I was reading. And then they finally asked if I wanted to join their program, and I was like, yes, yes, send over the link. Now be on the other side receiving the most beautiful hardcover copy of Riley Sager's newest book. Look at that. The entire book, by the way, has this like red outline. Oh, I want to read this immediately. What I'm trying to say though is it is just such a cool full circle moment, and I'm so grateful to receive The Unknown by Riley Sager because he is one of the first book authors that I really got into reading a few years ago. I read The House Across the Lake. Now I think I've read almost every single book. I'm just so grateful for Dutton for sending this. I got my first Frederick Bachman book from Atria. They sent over My Friends. Evelyn Skye, she sent over a book before, but with her new release, Ideal Life, she sent over this handmade little bookish bookmark charm to go with it, with a little pink matching book. Like the cutest little touches. I feel like there was one other book too I wanted to really touch. Oh yeah, Haley Cass. Everyone has been telling me I need to read a Haley Cass book. She's a sapphic indie author, and everyone's saying like sapphic books, Haley Cass does it best. This might be her first trad published book with Atria. Congratulations if it is, because Atria, to sign with Atria after being a self-published author is so cool. It's an arc for Between the Lines, which is a steamy academic romance between two professors. This one I was very excited for too. So it was just a great unboxing day. I never really show the books that I receive. Oh no, I'll do like big book hauls. So you might see them again in like a book haul soon, but I wanted to start filming because today I want to talk about the 14 books that I read in July. I had the best reading month so far of 2026 in July. It's in the oddest order right now for this pile, but this is what I mean by summer reading. Oh my gosh, 14 books in July. We had a bangin' month. I have so many great books to talk about. Multiple 5 stars, almost every single genre, new authors, favorite authors, and just everything in between. We have so many amazing books to talk about. July was one of the best reading months of my life. I mean, that's how summer always feels. And then I have the final chunk of TBR books for the summer. We have my August TBR list. I think I have 15 books on this, so I won't get, I mean, I could get to every single one, but I want to talk about the books I hope to get to in August as well. I cannot believe that I'm already making August content as well. That also just makes me so sad. The summer has gone by so fast. It is literally the end of July when I'm filming this, and I haven't been to my pool once, and that is shocking information. If you know me, I used to spend every single day there. I'm a summer girly. I don't know, I just feel like I've been focused on other things this year. Also, I have some fresh little tattoos that I just don't want sitting out in the sun, and I'm getting another tattoo in August. So August is going to be a very exciting month, and I'm getting it here. I feel like I'm already very tan. I don't want to get tanner before the tattoo, so I'm trying to stay out of the sun. Should we talk about some books? The 14 books of July. Let's get right on into these. Starting with one of the first books I read this month, Atmosphere. I could talk about this book for days, so I don't know how I'm going to contain myself in this video. All I can say is grab a box of tissues, grab this book, and just turn off your phone.
Oh, I'm so sad. I'm just sad that it's over.
This is one of my all-time favorite books. Now, I knew it would be because Taylor Jenkins Reid has that power to just ultimately destroy me and then make me think about her characters for the rest of my life. Like Joan and Vanessa, to me, they will never leave my brain. They will never leave my mind. They will never leave my heart. I saw a vintage t-shirt the other day at the Goodwill bins that said like property of the Kennedy Space Center. This book doesn't even take place at the Kennedy Space Center, and I had to buy it because it made me think of Atmosphere. Like, I have made so many short form videos about this book, so you can see all of my thoughts there. I cannot wrap it up here enough. Where do I put my thoughts about Atmosphere? Because I actually have so many.
So sad that it ended when it ended. Like, I need more. I want an update. Where's the epilogue? I need a sequel. There's like so many parts that I wanted to see afterwards.
I read this book the first time so fast, I think in like 48 hours. Then I went back and immediately reread it. The amount that you get out of a book when you go back and reread it, look at my beautiful color coordination to the cover. I went back and I highlighted and annotated, and rereading it, you pick up on obviously like so much more foreshadow and just like the way that these monologues tie together. What I love so much about Taylor Jenkins Reid is her ability to create these monologues that have so much emotion, where people say I love you without saying the words I love you. Oh my God, this book. I wanted so much more, but it was just beautiful. I have talked about this to so many people in my personal life, and I will continue to. And I can't wait for her next book next spring. All I can say for her new book coming out next year is they better ruin the friendship. Oh, you're kind of sitting where I usually put the books. I really want to order a UK edition of Atmosphere and then reread it for like a third time. Like, help, I'm still at the restaurant. I don't think I'm ever going to leave. It is just amazing. I also finally read Mad Honey in July. This is by Jodi Picoult, who is one of my favorite authors. Like, I read my first Jodi Picoult book in 8th grade. I read My Sister's Keeper, and I just haven't stopped since. I've read every single book by hers except for By Any Other Name, and then Hollow Bones comes out in September. She co-wrote this book with Jennifer Finney Boylan, and I think they both did an amazing job at co-writing this book. Jennifer Finney Boylan wrote the chapters for one character, because this is a dual POV, and then Jodi Picoult wrote a separate character, and then they each wrote one chapter of each other's characters, and it just flows really well. This feels like a classic Jodi Picoult book. What do I mean by that? It's got that courtroom drama feel. It's got that classic twist put in there. It's got such a subtle plot of romance that you almost don't even notice it, but there's always something going on behind the scenes. The ability to relate and feel emotions for both sides of the case to an extent in this situation. And then also we get to see Jordan and Selena again, and they are reoccurring characters from some of her older books that I read a long time ago. So that was really cool to see them connect with this plot and these characters. And I'm honored that this is the one and only signed Jodi Picoult book that I have. It's going on a very special place on my Jodi Picoult shelves. I've got to do a library tour. I have like a library home makeover video. I'll link it above, so everyone that asks about seeing my bookshelves and where I keep my books, they're up there. I just never feel like it's done or complete, so I haven't wanted to show the room yet. I have to get over that and just show you, because that book is going in a special place. The arc that I read for July, oh, I love this book so much. This has instantly become one of my favorite reads, and I want to get a beautiful hardcover copy of it now that it's out. I want to read all of her books. Meet Me in the Garden by Nina LaCour. This felt like Ivy by Taylor Swift. This felt like the song Dress. This felt like Cruel Summer snuck in through the garden gate. How do I explain how beautiful this book is? It takes place across decades, 44 to 1965. So you span across 2 decades of mostly this family's life, but you really do, I mean, it's one protagonist and then her family. This is so much more than just a queer novel, than just a like novel about race and society, a novel about family and family like dynamics or sisterhood. This is everything and more, and this is mental health. This is like, there's so much, there's sisterhood, there's everything wrapped up in this book. It is so beautiful, and I think it captured so, like, I thought this was just going to be like a secret forbidden queer like lesbian romance of mid-century America when it wasn't as accepted, but it was so much more than that. And it's almost like that felt like that was the plot, but it was so much in the back of her mind as she was like pushing it down for so long, and that the real plot in front of you is like the choices that she made for everybody else and her family. And if you've read Did You Hear About Kay Carr, which I really loved, I read that a few years ago, this has a lot of similar plots. There's a lot of emphasis on the South in America in the 40s and the 50s, and racism and passing, and the people in her family that are able to pass and those that can't. And then not only to have like the race element, but then now you're also trying to hide the fact that your sexuality is not accepted, and you know people won't accept you, and you see it not being accepted around you, and what do you do? And then The Price of Salt was mentioned. When the main character in a book starts reading The Price of Salt at the time that The Price of Salt comes out, oh, you know it's gonna be good. Nina LaCour is such a beautiful writer. I had no idea what I was in for with this book, and I just absolutely love it. I really have to read her 4 other books now. I didn't know. Pick this up when you see it. Another one that I will just never get over, and it's so beautiful, and I was crying by the end just because it was beautiful. It wasn't even that sad. It was just like, oh, I hope to have, like, it's good. It's so good. When you want a book where you are just rooting for everybody and you want them to win, this is a book like that. This isn't like Taylor Jenkins Reid, who's going to shatter your heart. This is different. This is special. I couldn't have picked a better arc for the month. That might be my favorite arc of the, whoa, that is like high praise. That might be my favorite arc of the year so far. We're already at 15 minutes, oh my gosh. Speaking of sapphic stories, I read a lighter, fun, just a fun, steamy sapphic book. After that, I read Informed Consent. This is a self-pub, indie published Rachel Spangler book, who I've heard great things about, and this is an age gap workplace sapphic romance. It was really fun. What can I say? I liked it. I really like the writing too. So I do want to read more books by Rachel Spangler because their books are great. Speaking of self-published indie books, I have an indie version of a Frida McFadden book. If you move, don't, careful, you're gonna, this is like not a good idea. What are you trying to do? Marnie, there were so many other paths you could have taken. Okay. I have an indie book. Okay, indie version. Do I trust you not to overheat? The camera did just so humid out. The camera had to cool down. Hopefully it'll let me film now. So we had to take a little impromptu break. But I think I was saying, speaking of indie self-published, I really hope this works. I've been having camera problems for like an hour with it overheating. It's so gross and humid here, the camera won't even work. We have a new battery and you've cooled down, so I really hope that this works, because speaking of indie self-published books, the next book was the self-published Frida McFadden book, The X. God, I really lost my groove. Like, I was yapping, I was good, and now because I had to take all those breaks, so frustrating. It seems like we're doing okay now. Anyway, classic Frida book. I feel like my Gemini was really shining through reading this book, because halfway through, every time I was reading what the ex was doing, I kept being like, yeah, I get it. I do the same thing, babe. I think that says more about me than Frida McFadden, but it was pretty good. I also read Pictures of You this month, and listen, I tried really hard to like this book. I wanted to like this book, and I hated it. I could not get into it. I don't know if it was like every time it was the high school chapters, I couldn't care less. I don't know if it was like the age thing or what. Basically, it's the classic case where someone wakes up with amnesia, can't remember the last X amount of years of her life, can't believe that she's turned in, it's like 13 going on 30. It's like that movie with Rebel Wilson where she's like back in high school. That's basically that she can't remember anything past being 16, except she's 30 now and married to this, you know, it's like that whole thing. I really wanted to like it and I just couldn't get into it. Especially for the cover too, like I thought that was such a beautiful book. Now the memoir that I thought I was going to read in July, I ended up reading 2 memoirs, but I thought I was going to give myself an easier memoir month. So I only started with What I Know for Sure by Oprah Winfrey. This is like a coffee table book on all of the things that Oprah knows for sure in her life. Very easy read, read it in an evening. I just wanted something simple for July because I thought I would do like an easier reading month. Yeah, I didn't realize it was going to be such a great reading month. So I ended up reading 2 memoirs because I also read Love Warrior by Glennon Doyle. Dare I say that I might have enjoyed this more than Untamed, but I'm glad that I read Untamed first because I think knowing the information in Untamed helped me understand what she was going through more in this book, because there's so much in here about her marriage to a man at this point in her life, her feelings about love, marriage, co-parenting and coexisting with a man, and intimacy. There's things that she describes with those themes that make a lot more sense now that she is married to a woman. I feel like having that context helped. I really liked it. I thought it was so raw. I feel like I related a lot more to this too than Untamed. I related to Untamed, but then seeing more of her backstory here with the addictions that she struggled with, her sobriety, her like faith is even like brought into this, but not in like a way that you would think. And then her choices in life. I don't know. I feel like even like her little, I don't want to say it, but there's a lot in here where I was like, oh, we have a lot in common actually, but that was very good. I feel like the Goodreads reviews were pretty harsh on her too. Like people were saying she was so self-centered. It's her memoir, like it's gonna be about her feelings. I just disagree with a lot of those reviews, and I thought it was very good. And it's just crazy that she like wrote that before everything happened in her life and where she is. I don't know. The copy that I have also had an interview with her in the back, and in the interview she's with Abby at that point, but you can tell she's keeping it a secret because she only refers to her person as her person. But she said, she was like, I will say this has been the most freeing relationship I've ever been in. So I kind of felt like breaking the fourth wall a little bit of like knowing something that you don't know in the original interview, but now you know, because that was before they kind of like came out. Still a great book though. Loved that memoir. I'm so glad that it found me. I'm so glad that I read it in July. Moving on to more of the self-help therapy nonfiction books of the month. I read Detached. This was recommended to me from a friend, and I honestly got a lot out of this book. Sabrina Bendery writes in a way that is so easy to digest, yet is so compact and full of helpful information. The whole theme of this book is How to Let Go, Heal, and Become Irresistible. I got a lot out of this. I did the journal prompts, I did the exercises, and I think it did help. If not, it was a lot of like, I agree, I agree, I agree as I was reading. And I feel better after reading that book. Also, she has a new book that just came out in June called The Feminine Code, and I believe that's more of like a sequel to like the magnetic, how to be more magnetic or whatever, or how to attract things into your life. I don't know because I haven't read it yet, but I ordered that and it should be here soon, so I hopefully will read it soon. And then more of like the therapy-ish book that I read for July was It Didn't Start With You. I've been wanting to read this book for a while. I think the themes and things in this book are so important for everyone to be at least familiar with. I'm not saying everyone has to read it. It would be very helpful, I think, if everyone did, but just understanding like the cycles of trauma and where certain core anxieties or traumas may actually stem from beyond you and more from like your familiar line. Familial line is crucial. Pretty easy to read, not that long, highly recommend. More of the witchy spiritual woo-woo books of the month. I read The Witch's Home. Look at how cute this cover is. I feel like this is just like my house. I mean, Marnie is asleep next to me right now. This is how to structure and set up your home. If you are a witch or spiritual, it goes through every single room, kitchen, living room, bedroom, bathroom, how to make it more spiritual, different altars for each room, things that you can do. A lot of it I was pretty familiar with already, but there were a lot of little things in here too where I was like, oh, that's a great idea. Definitely going to use that. I'm pretty proud that my home, I feel like, is set up for spiritual success already. But if you want to learn more, highly recommend. I also finished Spellcrafting. I started this a few months ago and then kind of put it down. This goes through a lot of different spells, how to structure spells. If you want to learn more about rituals and different spells to practice or how to create your own or different ones, it also has a lot of like, what's the word, indexes for like herbs and trees and flowers and animal and all of that. So very, very helpful though if you are into rituals and spell work. And then I read Vibes from the Other Side. This is how to connect with your spirit guides. So this is really, really cute, easy to read. Read it, I think, in like one morning outside. Different ways to connect with your higher self, with your spirit guides, signs and all of that. Very fun, very woo-woo. And then I also read The Sun and Her Flowers in July. I read this in one sitting. It took me about an hour outside. That was terrifying because I saw it in the viewfinder and just had to like brace for impact. Oh my god, that was really scary. That was a pretty gentle fall. I've had worse books hit me before. I didn't realize when I bought this book that it was actually going to be pretty like heartbreaking, because based on the cover I thought this was like a happier collection of poetry, and that's why I was like, I think it's finally time for me to read this. Like, I feel ready. The first collection in here called Wilting was my favorite, and it was about a really hard breakup that she went through. I would not have been ready to read this any sooner, so I am glad that I still read it when I did. There were so many things in here where I felt like I was alone in feeling, so it was really nice to be able to have someone understand almost like how I felt. I don't know, you just feel so alone in it. Like, it's such a universal feeling, but then you feel like nobody feels exactly how you feel, and then you realize everybody does. I really, really liked this. I think Homebody, I can't tell which one was my favorite. I don't know. It just found me at the most perfect time. But I don't want to pick up all the books that fell, but those were the 14 books that I read in July. Seriously, such an amazing month. Before this camera overheats anymore, because it's already hot and I'm nervous, I want to try to quickly talk about the 15 books on my August TBR as well. Hey, I read 14 books in July, so I seriously think I could maybe read all of these. Coming off of Atmosphere, I do want to hop back into a Taylor Jenkins Reid book, and I think this One True Loves and After I Do are the only two on her backlist that I haven't read yet, but this is the only one that I own. So I would love to get to One True Loves in August. I also really want to read Maisie Edding's newest release, You Won't Forget Me. It just looks so fun, and I'm trying to squeeze in as many sapphic books as I can. Speaking of sapphic books, I also am trying to squeeze in That Summer Feeling Before the Summer Ends. This is like an adult summer camp where she reconnects with a man from her past and then falls for his sister. And if I don't get to this in August, I fear I won't get to it until next summer. So I really want to read That Summer Feeling as well. And then the arc for August, I think, has to be I Kissed Her First. It just looks so cute. If I could squeeze in 2 arcs for August, because now I'm trying to like be very ambitious with my summer reading. Claire McIntosh's newest release, It's Not What You Think, would be fantastic to get to. This is a thriller that comes out in September, so I just know it's going to be good. And then speaking of thrillers, if I'm in the mood for some summery thrillers that I haven't gotten to yet on my summer TBR, it would have to be Sally Hepworth's The Mother-in-Law or Sally Hepworth's The Soulmate. Those are two of her books that I have yet to read. I also have this Lisa Jewell book still in my summer TBR, I Found You, just for like the beachfront cover. I don't even know how summery it is, but I feel like it would be good to read in the summertime regardless. And then for the memoirs in August, I'm thinking of reading Scarred. Atria recently sent this to me. It's going to be a heavier memoir than like the celebrity ones that I've been reading, so keeping that in mind for sure. Speaking of heavy memoirs too, the other memoir I kind of want to get to is called Skin Game. I've been wanting to read this since high school, and it's pretty short, so I know it won't take me that long, which is why I think I could get away with reading 2 memoirs for August. And then for the nonfiction books of the month, I would love to read Like, Follow, Subscribe. This is pretty much a dissection on family vloggers and child stars or kid influencers, and it references a lot of channels and influencers that I'm familiar with, so I'm very intrigued. Notice how I'm making smaller piles now. I recently got the Let Them theory as well, and this is one that is very popular, but one that I do want to get to. I got The Body Keeps Score for my birthday this year, and I feel like coming fresh off of It Didn't Start With You, this would be a really good one to follow up with. They feel like they kind of go hand in hand to me, so I would love to get to this one if I can in August. Otherwise, for more of like a lighter, fluffy, one sitting type of read, I also hope to read Living Well at Home. I think this is such a beautiful, more like coffee table book, and I think it's just so cute. The publisher sent this to me, and I just want to get to it as soon as possible so I can put it in my living room. And then I also still need to read The Universe Is Calling You. This is still on the summer TBR. It's pretty short, so I feel like I could definitely read this soon. But that was a little rapid 15 August TBR books that I hope to get to this month. 4 minutes. Wow, that's actually impressive. That was shorter than the TikTok version that I filmed for TikTok. Oh my god. If you watch these monthly videos, you know that now is my favorite part. After I have completed filming with all the books that I just mentioned, I get to put all of the books that I read for the month away in their forever home, because in this household, the books do not go away on their shelves until I've read them, and then they sit in a pile for filming, and then after I finish filming, I can finally put them away. I do this as incentive to read, because if I put a book away on a bookshelf, there's no incentive anymore to read them. They're just going to sit there. So they sit in the TBR pile, and then they earn their forever home spot on a bookshelf somewhere. So now's the really fun part where I get to figure out where everybody's going to live. So let's go put away 14 books in my house. I already know where a lot of these are going, and it's going to feel so satisfying to put them away. Oh, also, I forgot to mention this, but I also ordered some books from Tropes and Trifles. I featured them in the haul that I just filmed because Abby Jimenez is a local Minnesota author, and because she's local, it is so easy to get signed copies of her books here. You just have to wait for her to like do her big rounds where she's signing. I really want my entire Abby collection of books to be signed copies, since the 3 that I own right now are signed. So I've been waiting patiently, and one of my friends sent me an update from Tropes and Trifles, which is a local indie bookstore in Minneapolis, that they had fresh signed copies of her books. So I immediately ordered the 3 that I needed. Obviously, I needed this one so that I could start this trilogy, the Happily Ever After playlist. I already own Life's Too Short, and that one is signed, and I've just been waiting so I could pick up this one, read Life's Too Short, and then I got a signed copy of The Friend Zone as well. And then Tropes and Trifles sent over their little bookmarks. Oh, I got a thank you card too. That's so sweet. I think they follow me on my socials too, now that I think about it. And then I grabbed a signed copy of Say You'll Remember Me, and now I think the only book left is The Night We Met. I need a signed copy of that. They had hardcover signed copies of it, but Abby is a paperback book girly for me. All of her books are going to be paperback, so I'm gonna wait for that one to come out on paperback, and then I'll get a signed copy. But I've got these. I'm so excited to read them. I read my first Abby book last August, so we're coming up on a year, and I want to read more of her books in August because I'm feeling nostalgic for discovering Part of Your World last summer. Okay, now let's go put all these books away. library that I never let you see. It's actually really cute in here. Maybe I'll show you a little bit more of it. Cute. There's a dedicated shelf down here, all for the ARCs that I have been lucky enough to receive. So I get to add Meet Me in the Garden to this beautiful collection. It's honestly filling up really fast. Oh, she's a little bit taller. I was gonna put her next to Lisa Jules. It could have been her, but she's kind of tall. Let's put her over here. Yeah, she's the tallest one. Okay, Flatiron. Flatiron made the biggest ARC.